Hey everyone, my name is Vijay Chandola and in this video I'm going to talk about how to set up the basic structure of a world-class resume. So let's get started.
A good resume impacts the decision making of two key different decision makers in your hiring process. Number one, the recruiter who shortlists your resume and gives it to the hiring manager. Number two is the hiring manager or the interviewer who will ask you key questions from your resume. If your resume is relevant to the job description of the role on offer, then in that case, they would be asking you questions which are suiting to your strength. Now let's look at how can we create one such resume. So first thing, a cliched question but an important one. How long should your resume be? Answer of this question lies in answering a different question. And that question is that how long a hiring manager is going to look at your resume. In today's context, when companies are getting hundreds and hundreds of resumes for just one job they have on offer, companies have very less amount of time to look at your resume. So what happens is that they just skim through your resume, they look at your resume and decide within 10 to 15 seconds of time interval whether your resume is worth the shortlist or not. If that is the case, then it is your duty to make your resume very crisp, very precise, and clearly telling why this resume is a good match with the job description of the role on offer. Now, that precisely is the reason a good resume is of one page. If I talk about myself, I have close to 9 years of experience of working in different organizations. Even till date, I have just one page resume. Okay, if you want one such page resume format for free, a one page resume which gets the notice of the recruiters, then you can check the description. In description I have given a link of two resume formats which might suit your strengths. Whether you are a fresher or an experienced professional, you can look at these resume formats and make one for yourself. Now, what do you fill in those resume formats? So these resume formats will look something like this. So they will have a very basic structure, and in that basic structure you will have to put your own unique data. All right. So either it will look something like this, or it will look something like this, in which in which you will have your basic details, your summary, your education, and all the other such sections. Now, what kind of sections should we be looking at when it comes to our resume? Let me dive into this quickly. First thing first, you have to put your entire data the way we have given in those formats in sections or in table format. And once you have decided that you're going to do it, you'll have to identify which are those sections, tables which are suiting your strength, because everyone is different. If you are someone who is really studious, who has done really well in his academics, then you have to showcase your academics. If you are someone who has done really well with the extracurricular, co-curricular achievements, then that is something that you need to showcase. But if you are someone who is an experienced professional, in that case, you will have to showcase your experience in such a fashion that you are being asked questions from that specific area. You can create those resume sections or tables by choosing 4 or 5 of these key sections that you can put on your resume. If you are someone who is a fresher, then you will have to put details such as academics, your academic projects, your certifications, your internships, your extracurricular activities, your position of responsibilities, your volunteer experience, whatever experience you have, and if that is matching with the job description. That is number one. Even if, let's say, after putting all of those details, if you don't have enough information to fill that one page in your resume, then you will have to put in the details such as your interest or your hobbies as well. And for experienced professionals, you will put the details such as your work experience, what all are the positions of responsibilities that you have handled, or what exactly have you done in your academics, or if you have done any specific very important projects, then what are these projects and what was your contribution to those projects. All of those details, all of those sections you'll have to choose and fit into your resume. So by the way, with this part of this resume video series, we are going to work on just choosing a right resume format and putting the right suitable sections for in this video. Remaining task will happen in the remaining videos that will be there with this video series. Now, how does a clearly defined, well structured resume looks like? It will look something like this. It will have a clearly mentioned basic details, the summary of your resume, so that the hiring manager can take a quick glance of who you are before reading your entire resume, your academics, your work experience or internship experience or your projects, and then extracurricular activities or interest or other achievements that you have in your resume. Or it can be something like this as well, which is a tabular format, which also has a similar data set, but it is in a tabular sense. Or it can also be something like this. If you have your awards and achievements which are more important than your internship, this is what you tend to believe in, then you'll have to put your awards and achievement at the top and the remaining details at the bottom of it. Now, so how do we start working on our resume structure? First thing that we need to work upon is the basic setup for your resume.
If you are finding the content of this video helpful, then consider liking this video right now and subscribe the channel to get more updates on job search from ThinkSage.
What is that basic setup? First thing, you don't have to mention your physical address. A lot of people put in their physical address, their gender, their date of birth, references available on time. All of those things are not required. If they want to contact you, they'll contact you via an email or your mobile number. They will not be sending you a postcard on your physical address. That's not required. Do not put your date of birth, because date of birth will rather actually harm your chances. If they need someone experienced, then they'll say that you are not really experienced enough, you look pretty young. If they need a fresher, they will say that you are someone who looks like little elder than that of what they were looking as an ideal candidate. So do not put date of birth, do not put those heuristics in their minds. Okay, do not put your work email address as well, because if you leave that organization, that email ID is not going to be there, it's not going to be valid, and your mail might bounce. So do not put your work email address. Instead, put one professional email address. Do not put your photo until and unless it is asked, because you are going to get shortlisted in your for your interview process through the kind of work you have done, not by the looks that you have that you are kind of displaying through your photo. Do not put any irrelevant social media URLs if they are not relevant to your work profile, or do not put your nicknames or any pet names that you have. Instead, be professional. Put your full name, add your number, email address, LinkedIn profile only if you have worked upon that LinkedIn profile, it looks professional enough. If you have a portfolio or a website, you can put that as well. And once you have done that, save your resume with your full name and the word resume, so that whenever, if someone, or let's say a talent acquisition manager or a recruiter has saved your resume in their folder, if they are searching you by your name, they should be quickly be able to see your resume in their folder. Okay, now here is an assignment for you. What you need to do is that first finalize the sections that you want to work upon. Do a little bit of self-reflection. That is one. Second thing, what you can do is just choose the right resume template from the templates that we have given in the job in the description of this YouTube video, and then write the basic info on the top of the resume.
So that's about it in this video. In the next video, I'm going to talk about how to format your resume and how to create content for your resume that makes an immediate impact on the hiring manager and on the interviewer. If you have any specific query about your own resume, put them in the comment box. I'm going to reply to everyone who has made a specific comment about their own resumes.